All right, so we're going now. So this is Justin Jones. I need to share these questions. It's at 2 to 3 minutes, so I guess I'm gonna have to go through all this quickly. Um, so in these first questions, it's just a lot of multiplication, figuring out what. The first step is that you need to find out what the not proportion. Oh, yeah, the proportion of all the offspring. They're going to have a certain trait, and you're going to take all of those proportions for the different traits and multiply them together, and that's how you're going to get the total. So if we go quickly to this first one, if we have a cross of these two genotypes and we have to cross it together, what's the odds that we're going to have a big A, little a? And so if we go through that, there's out of the four options, two of them will um, sufficiently apply that or fulfill that. Same thing with, or if you go to the BB, out of the four options available, only one of them would give you a BB. CC, again, only a fourth. And DD, it's going to be another half. EE is another half. So you take 1/2, 1/4, 1/4, 1/2, 1/2, multiply them all together, and you get 1 divided by 128. And you do the same things over and over again for problems number 1 and number 5. Yeah, number 5, where it's the same thing. So you just do it over and over again. On this one, I got these numbers. So for A's 1/4, B's 1/4, C's 1/4, D's 1/2, E's 1/2. For a total of 1 out of 256. For this next one, you actually get 1 out of 0 because if you look at, we're looking for DD, two little d's. If you look here, this first genome actually does not have a little d in there to give it all. So it makes that portion impossible. And if one portion is impossible, it'll make all of them impossible. So you go on to the next one. And with these very similar things, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, you get 1 out of 32nd. Come down to here. I guess I don't need that portion. Fill in the blanks. Paired homologous chromosomes. They're bilivents or tetrads. I got that from the reading. The crossing over is at the chiasma. Now, the ones that I'm feeling weakest on right now is knowing the difference between these sister chromatids and remembering exactly the numbers that they're having. But I believe that it's 0 because in prophase 1, there's not any, there's no division there to keep them separate. But when you go to metaphase 2, it's going to be double the number of normal chromosomes, which would be 8. I have monohybrid. That's the type of genetic cross. And then a null allele is one that doesn't work. Gain of function, I think this is what it is, because it's hard to tell because it says partial function, which would make me think it's a less reactive, not quite null, but less reactive. But the options were either null, gain of function, or no effect. So I guess it has to be gain of function just because it is a change of function. Or gain of function, yeah. And then the two laws, I have laws of independent assortment, which is the two traits, and then law of segregation for the single trait. If we come down here, with this organism here, and it's during metaphase 1, what are all the different options? So I have this line here to represent the metaphase plate. I can't remember the exact wording, but that'll separate them, and you're going to get the same thing multiple times. It should be 8 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. And so it's like capitals up here, and then you'll flip them, and then flip them, and actually, I did mess up on this one. So you're gonna be able to see that. It looks like the T's are actually all capital. So I guess it's only 4 options. And I used you as my backup. And then you only get 4 options because you're just switching the R's and the Y's. Uh, ch- ch- what did I do here? Okay. So it looks like I need to delete this. So all the possible gamete configurations. Well, I got a huge gap on my page. I'll figure that out later, but these are options, the same thing. In fact, I'm gonna have to fix that because once again, it's 4T's. So actually, just delete these cells. And there we go. How many sister chromosomes are found per cell? That's going to be 12 when they're split up because they're going to be on both sides. And then how many chromosomes are after the metaphase? It's going to be 6. 6 total. Yeah. Actually, never mind. Was this after or during? Oh, during metaphase. Okay, yeah, so it would be 6 during. Same thing with horse. At the end of meiosis 1, it's going to be 32 because that's just normal cell division, so it needs to keep 32 there. Tetrads are present per horse. It's going to be so double what it is during prophase. So prophase, there'd only be 16 at the time, so you double it to 32. How many sisters? And it's going to be 64 because it's double the number of pairs. How many sisters are during the metaphase 2 of meiosis? I got 32 because metaphase 2, it's yeah. So during metaphase 2, it's about to split, so you'd get them on both. So basically, both 2 cells worth. So yeah, you'd get 32. Yeah, 32 because it's half for on the second one, and then 0 for bivalence. Then here it's the same thing we were doing in problem 1, except they're looking for phenome rather than genome. So, like for instance, here, tall round are both 3 out of 4 instead of the half and a 4 we got earlier. But you multiply it through, you get 9 out of 64. And then for this one, 1 out 32nd, just going through the proportions. This one, for them all to be heterozygous, it's all actually a half. So it's pretty simple there. And for the last one, you go through dwarf as a quarter, wrinkled a quarter, yellow a half, axial a half, and you get 164. So, all right. This is my first time. So I hope it turns out good.